I haven't done the live FYC dance in a really, really long time. I'm doing the live FYC dance because we're live. So that's reason alone. I'm doing the live FYC dance because the Oscars are over. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what to say. My face is melting. My God. My God. And I'm doing the live FYC dance because before we even get to the Oscars, before we even get to what you two especially are think I'm going to say,
yes,
the most important news of all is this. Are you ready? This is the most important news of all. I'm sure you all know this. We're following Perri. We're following me on social media. The most important news of all is that the amazing Perri Nemiroff is the recipient, the winner of this year's ICG Publicist Guild Press Award. And I was in the room when it happened, and I lost my shit.
Yeah, you did.
Is the winner of the Press Award. Who cares about the Oscars?
It was so nice having you in the room, and you were so loving and loud and supportive. And
are you kidding?
I'm so happy. That day was a true dream, and I'll never forget that feeling. But also, it was one of the scariest things ever. I started to think, we sit here and we talk about other people have their name announced and have to get up and make a speech. That's scary.
Look,
I can talk in front of moderating a Q&A in front of crowds of hundreds, if not thousands of people and not break a sweat. Man, I was holding onto that podium for dear life, trying not to shake.
Obviously, Perri, I know the feeling.
You do.
I know the feeling. It is a surreal, wild, unfathomable, incomprehensible, out-of-body experience. You just cannot believe it. It is a blur. But then when you get in front of the podium, you speak from the heart like you did. So I completely get it. And Perri, I mean, you deserve it. You work your tail off. You were great at what you do. No one deserves it more. Jeff and I were talking separately, and we're both like, Perri has us in the bag. So,
oh no, I thought Angelique Jackson was robbed.
I think all four of them were robbed.
All right. Okay. So now on to the Academy Awards and the moment you have all been waiting for, which is you two owe me $20 each because Flo won animated feature. Flo won animated feature. And I love that I posted, oh my gosh, Flo won animated feature. And all these people on social media are like, Perri and Jeff owe you $20 each. Oh, I can't wait to see you get that. So we have so much to be excited about.
All done electronically.
It was a very, very, very good call. I will always give you credit when you take a swing like that and it pans out and you nail it.
When was it Andrew Garfield and Goldie Hawn? He said Flo. I was like, well, now, okay, Jeff, why do you think after The Wild Robot, which I am going to say is equally deserving of that award. Wild Robot is fantastic movie. It is so emotional. It's one of the best movies that DreamWorks Animation has ever done. And it won the Producers Guild Animated Feature, won all 9 Annie Awards in all 9 categories it was nominated for. Why do you think this little cat movie that cost practically nothing won over The Wild Robot, big studio film? What happened?
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the international voting branch, right? That whole block. And I also think that block takes the Oscars a little bit more seriously. I think that they're a little bit more grateful to be included in the process, and that they may watch the movies a little bit more. Where the truth is, and people aren't going to want to hear it, I don't think that every Academy member watches all the animated movies unless they have children. I don't think that they do. So they kind of tend to, that's why I thought that they might go with Wild Robot, but Flo in the end captured the hearts of the international voters, I think, and that's why it won.
Perri, what is your take on why Flo won over The Wild Robot, or even Inside Out 2?
Perhaps some of what Jeff said, and also given Anora's success, maybe it was just the year for indie films at the Academy Awards.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
People being able to pull off movie magic with an extremely small amount of resources. I think making any movie is impressive. Someone who jumps into indie filmmaking is just on another level to me. It's so hard making any movie, let alone one with less money, and probably also less time. So
I did wonder if like Inside Out 2 and Wild Robot maybe split that studio vote and allowed
Sure.
Flow to kind of come right up the middle. Yeah.
You know, Inside Out 2, you know, can boast about being the highest grossing animated movie of all time, which it is, with $1.7 billion worldwide. You know, the thing about Flow is, I mean, it's, you know, from the country of Latvia, which has never even had a presence ever at the Academy Awards. So I'm sure, Jeff, to your point, that international voters probably said, wow, this is actually really cool, like to have like that kind of moment to make history, Oscar history, which was made in other ways we'll get to. But
it was helped by being an international nominee.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that too. It had 2 nominations, not just one. So the internet, anyway. But also, I mean, look, I have 4 cats, so of course I was biased to this movie. But I just felt like here's a movie with no dialogue whatsoever, and it had so much heart, it had so much soul. Like
it was a great call by you, Scotty.
It was a great call by the Mance. All right, let's get to the other OMFG moments of the Academy Awards. So, Perri, I'm going to ask you, take me back to that moment. I feel like, you know, this is like something that you get asked, you would ask in a Q&A.
Okay.
So, Perri, take me back to that moment when you were watching the Academy Awards, and here comes Emma Stone, winner of last year for Poor Things. She comes out to announce the Oscar for Best Actress, and she reads through the nominees, and everybody, we 3 especially, were like waiting for Demi Moore's name to be named. And she paused, and the Oscar for Best Actress goes to, and there's a pause, and then you hear the words Mikey Madison. Boom. What goes through your mind?
Ghostface won an Oscar. Honestly,
yeah.
That was one of the first things that went through my mind. I'm not going to say I was all that surprised, because as we were talking about, we all picked Fernanda. But I did think that this was the category that we were going to see an upset. Well, so while we didn't pick the right person necessarily, I do think the writing was on the wall going into our final round of predictions that like something wasn't quite right or quite settled. That being said, like I feel for Demi Moore. I mean, it's got to be really hard to go into a ceremony like this thinking that you have the best possible chance, and then hear somebody else's name is called. So my heart breaks a little bit for her, but I mean, I've said it a million times on FYC. I love these performances, and I'm so happy to see Mikey Madison become an Oscar winner. I do think that was undeniably one of the best performances of the year, and I thought she deserved it.
You absolutely deserved. Jeff, what's your take?
I mean, I think you're right. Your heart breaks for her, but like, you know, it breaks for Jeremy Strong. It breaks for all these people, whether they were supposed to win or whether they knew they had no chance to win. I think that, I don't know, this is all about rewarding the ingenue, which I told you they weren't going to do with Timothy. They make the young guys work for it a little bit longer.
Yeah, they do.
You know, I knew that wasn't going to happen, and I knew that Demi Moore wasn't going to win either. I did say Fernanda when it came down to it, but
we all did.
You know, it only makes sense that Mikey would win given how much they loved Anora. I just never thought the substance was too divisive for Demi Moore to win. So I never really got that.
You know, on Gold Derby at the last moment when I was leaving on Sunday, I changed my Fernanda Torres pick to be Moore. So I mean, I was wrong either way. But you know, I feel like Best Actress was the category, and there are a few categories here where there was a toss-up. But Best Actress was really a toss-up between 3 of these actresses. And in the end, first of all, I mean, look, you all know that I love Anora. I saw it 6 times. I've been raving about it for months, especially here. I am tickled that she won. No one does, like, she really did deserve it. I've been like pushing her and championing her, but I really thought, again, because of the flow factor for international feature or for animated feature, that, and there was so much passion behind I'm Still Here. We all loved it. We all loved her. Like, wouldn't that be great if she won? And, you know, we just got caught up in our own stuff sometimes. You know, we overthink things instead of saying, wow, you know what? Mikey Madison gave the best performance and she deserved to win.
I do wonder if something would have been different without that Carlos Sofia Gascon controversy. Probably not. Mm-hmm. I don't think it really would have mattered. I don't think that controversy cost that movie any Oscars that it was necessarily going to win. But it's surprising. Like, this is a movie where there's a lot of nudity, there's a lot of cursing. This is not typically what we think of from Best Actress winners, and that signals to me a larger shift in the Academy. Yeah.
While I was watching the Oscars, and when Mikey's name was announced, I just felt like, I mean, look, we all saw the film months and months ago, and like throughout the rest of the year, as we saw more and more of these Oscar contenders with these great performances, I'm still going like, yeah, that was great, but no, it's still Anora, it's still Mikey, oh, that movie was great too, but no, it's still Anora, it's still Mikey. I really, truly, absolutely believe that in my heart. Like for the SAG Awards, okay, for example, for the SAG Awards and for the Critics' Choice Awards with Perri, I know you vote for it too. I voted for Mikey Madison for Best Actress. I mean, like there was no contest. I voted for what I truly believe was the best performance. But then the three of us get into it and they're like, well, what is the Academy thinking? What is the SAG thinking? We like get
right. You can overthink it.
Oh yeah, you think?
And that's the problem with award season being 6 months, right? I wish the Oscars were sort of moved up a few weeks.
Well, Jeff, you brought up Amelia Perez and you brought up Carla Sofia Gascon. She was obviously there. At the, she was a great target for host. She knew it, and kudos to her for showing up. That's brave. Yeah, that was brave. And who's the host?
Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien. Oh my God, I'm so tired. Conan O'Brien. First of all, he was great. He was funny. He was dry. Zoe Saldaña, we knew that she was going to win. But I got to say that this controversy that happened with Amelia Perez, and from that point forward, didn't Zoe just handle everything with such class and such grace? She really became the face of the movie, and she was always the front runner to win supporting actress. And people separated her from the controversy, as they should, but sometimes, maybe that didn't happen in the case of some of the other categories. So Perri, what is your take on just how Zoe Saldaña really, I mean, look, she won every other award she was nominated for, including the Oscar now. So what is your take on just how Zoe handled the pressure, if you will, throughout the rest of the process?
I think she obviously handled it quite beautifully. And I think it got stronger and stronger all along the way. To be completely honest, I didn't love the speech at the CCAs. I didn't think it was as strong as it maybe could have been. But after that, I just kept seeing more and more speeches that were, I guess, in line with my hopes or like really like rousing to me. And I really do think it culminated in a beautiful Oscar speech from her and made me really happy to see her win. She just always strikes me as someone who like tackles every single performance she gives with like maximum ferocity, like a one of a kind her ferocity. And to see her give every ounce of herself to her characters and have that be rewarded is super cool. And I like it.
Jeff.
Mommy.
I thought that was sweet.
I thought she obviously stepped up and did a great job. I'm glad that she thanked her co-stars. I kind of wish that she had thanked Carla by name because I don't think anyone, if for that movie, is there unless without Carla. But
she's Amelia Perez. Yeah,
she did thank her co-stars. And yeah, I think like you said, like she deserved it. She's put in the time. She's paid her dues in this industry, and it was her time, regardless of that controversy.
And just as an example of that ferocity that you talk about, Perri, that she gave in her performance, that is absolutely part of her personality, because I was in the press room backstage, where the winners go to answer a few questions from the press. And one of the journalists asked her about the depiction of how it's a movie about Mexicans, Mexican community. And she said, "I respectfully disagree with you. This is a movie about women." And you just sat there and you went, wow, that's a really great response. So the way she said it with class and with grace, but with veracity and with conviction. And I went, this is why she won the Academy Award.
Just to clarify a hair, because it does matter. She specifically said these 4 women.
Four women.
Their individual experiences versus like women in general.
Right. Okay, yes. So obviously you heard the soundbite. Yes.
I happen to, I mean, I might not have. I literally watched that clip right before coming upstairs to do this show, so it happens to be fresh in my mind.
Oh, okay. Well, great. Perfect timing. All right. So let's talk about how after 97 years, we still had a night where genuine Oscar history was made. Sean Baker won 4 Academy Awards. 4 Academy Awards that went to him for the same movie. That has never happened. I was sitting there after, one Best Picture, and I Googled most Oscar wins in one night, and Walt Disney actually won 4 Oscars in 1954, but for different projects. So then I went, wait a minute, that means that Sean Baker actually made history by being the recipient of 4 Oscars for producing, for director, for editing, and for original screenplay. But then I saw someone else on social media say, oh, well, it ties with Parasite because director Bong Joon-ho won 4 Oscars for picture, director, original screenplay, and international feature. And I replied to that post. I said, wait a minute, that's wrong, because Bong Joon-ho actually took home 3 Oscars. That 4th Oscar for South Korea goes to the country of South Korea, not to the filmmaker itself, which is kind of seems a little not cool to me, but still, I mean, the movie won 4 Oscars, history-making Oscars there. And 5 years after Neon and Perception PR got behind Parasite, making Oscar history, Neon and Perception PR got behind Anora to another history-making Oscar win. And for the 3rd time ever in Oscar history, the movie that won the Palme d'Or, the top prize at the Cannes Film Festival, Marty, Parasite, and now Anora, won Best Picture, which is like really, really cool stats, really, really cool history. So Perri, those Oscar wins, picture, director, screenplay, editing, like a lot of people felt like editing was going to go to Conclave, and it went to Anora. It's like people really love this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I believe Anora was my number 2 in that category, so I guess I wasn't far off, but I mean, that's a pretty big feat to walk away with 4 Academy Awards. And, not that this is necessary for every indie filmmaker, but again, I think it speaks to the nature of indie filmmaking and how so many people have to wear multiple hats and what winds up happening when you could do that and you could do it well. And also in his case, be what seems to be a very strong leader and bring everybody else's work together with your own. But I was so happy for him. He seemed like, who wouldn't be happy after winning an Oscar? He was like floating the whole damn night. Like, I thought his face was going to break because he was grinning so big from start to finish of winning. And one of my favorite things about all of his wins is that literally every time he got up on that stage, like, he said something that struck a chord and could matter beyond just like his personal experience. I don't know. I was excited for him in the movie because I love it so much. As someone who just loves indie cinema in general, I was happy. And then every single time I heard him speak, it made me happy for him and also the industry overall. And I don't know, what a cool thing while watching the Oscars.
Well, like you pointed out, I mean, after last year with all the nominations that Barbie got and Oppenheimer winning Best Picture, this year between Anora's 5 wins and Flow, this was the return of the indies. It was such a great, rewarding night. And, what started at the Spirit Awards when Sean Baker really just gave an impassioned speech about the theatrical experience. Of course, it transferred over to the Oscars where a whole lot more people were watching. Jeff, what about those wins for Sean Baker? Especially, I got to say again, we predicted picture, we predicted Best Director, and original screenplay, I think. Wait. Yeah, we did. Okay. But editing, was that a surprise to you, Jeff?
Definitely a big surprise. I did think Conclave was going to win that. I just didn't think that they were going to give it to Sean because they'd want to give it to someone who makes their living as an editor. Right. Rather than someone who's kind of just, I get to make whatever decisions I want. I don't have to work with the director because I am the director. But I think what his wins show is that the system still works.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Right.
The this is what you're supposed to do. I mean, this was his 7th film. I think Tangerine was his 3rd or 4th film already. But it's like, that's what you do. You make a movie on an iPhone, and then you go on to Florida Project, and that gets acclaim. And then Red Rocket, okay, that wasn't the awards contender we thought it was going to be, but it still showed growth in some respects as a filmmaker. And then so it basically it shows that, like, you know, the indie feeder system, which I think Perri talked about before, like this really was the Academy embracing indies. It does work.
Well, listen, Red Rocket, I think, came out in 2001, like just as we were kind of lifting out of the lockdown.
21.
Was 21, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you said 2001.
Oh, so yeah, 2021. Yeah. So, you know, and a lot of movies got lost in the shuffle because of just, you know, we were still, you know, movie theaters were still closed. And I loved Red Rocket. I thought it was amazing. I thought for sure that Simon Rex was going to get nominated. And it just got sort of passed over because people were distracted for obvious reasons. And again, like, you know, these last 4 movies, Jeff, like you said, the Fire Project was great. Tangerine shot on a freaking iPhone was great. I didn't even know that until after I saw the film. But okay, so going into the weekend, I think after the BAFTA wins and after the SAG win for Best Cast Ensemble, there really was a lot of the tide was starting to change, that people were starting to think that Conclave would win Best Picture because it was like the safe movie. It was more accessible. It wasn't raunchy. There weren't a lot of F-bombs. You're shaking your head, Jeff. Right.
Yeah, no, I never thought, I don't care about how many precursors it won. I don't think it ever had a chance in this race. I think this was always Anora versus The Brutalist. I think Sean Baker said it himself in some piece I read today that in July, he was with a journalist and he basically said off the record, the only thing I got to worry about really is The Brutalist. And I think that's true.
Oh, yeah. All right. So let's see. What else can we get to here? What about Best Animated Feature? Oh, we already talked about that. Sorry.
We led the show. That's how you
I
open
thought you were making a joke for a minute, man.
I am taking a joke.
Guys, Mance was out at the San Vicente bungalow all night.
Let's take some super chats, Perri.
You got it. We got a bunch. All right. First up, has Best Animated Feature become a more competitive category now after recent wins by Flo and The Boy and the Heron?
The Best Animated Feature, I know we talked about this here. This year's five nominees for Best Animated Feature. This is the strongest lot of animated features in this category since the inception of this category back in 2002 when Shrek won for the very first time in this category. It was a really tough choice, but I just, you know, again, I'm biased with the cats, and I love the film. But don't you guys think that this was just a great year for animated movies?
Again, I have to reiterate what I said about Demi Moore. And also clearly I would have voted for The Wild Robot because it was in my top 10 of the year. I love the movie. I love Flo too, though. But I felt bad for the Wild Robot team. Yeah, I think they were sitting there getting ready to get up and make the speech, and then it's a surprise. But I'm happy.
Hey, Brian, Shrek was in 2001. It came out in 2001, but it won the Oscar in 2002. Just to
sorry,
clarify.
I'm not in the main chat right now.
There's no supposed tos or deserves at the Oscars, man. You got to wait till your name is called to stand up.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. But then again, everyone's a human being, hopefully with a heart. And when you care, it hurts, and I feel for them when it hurts. But I'm very happy for Flo, and I do think this year in particular, these were 5 top tier films. I do wish more people were talking about Memoir of a Snail. I thought that movie was absolutely exquisitely done, and maybe because it didn't look as colorful and fun loving as the others, less people kind of veered towards it. But I thought it was exceptionally moving and just a top tier stop motion film.
Memoir of a Snail is an excellent film, but it was not for kids. These other movies they were for kids and grown-ups, and I think that was that was kind of a problem. But I love Memoir of a Snail. I agree with you. Let's take some more.
All right, next one up. Very bad for the film and very bad for the industry that Adrian Brody won Best Actor. Top honors going to someone who wasn't good enough without AI assistance is a horrible precedent.
Jeff, what's your take on that?
Yeah.
I find that to be a ridiculous thing to say, that he wasn't good enough without AI assistance. They just made his voice sound 3% more Hungarian or whatever. Like, give me a break. Are you like, come on? How does that change what I just saw on the screen? It changes the timbre or pitch of his voice or the way some vowels are pronounced, but that does not change what I just witnessed in front of me.
I don't. I mean, I was asked that a couple times. Like, I don't think the AI controversy, and I put that in quotes, was enough of an issue.
Clearly, it wasn't.
Clearly, it wasn't. Like, whereas the Carla Sofia Gascon controversy was an issue. I mean, you're comparing apples to oranges. So anyway, go ahead, Perri. What else we got?
All right. Next up is a biggie from Mike K, as always. Always so generous, Mike. Thank you guys for another incredible season of FYC. I only got 12 out of 23 right in my predictions, but I was happy to be wrong about certain categories, including Best Animated Feature. Congratulations to the team behind Flow. They absolutely deserve to win.
Mike K, you're the man, and obviously I agree with you on that.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks so much, Mike. All right, now we've got So Sad to Me didn't complete the comeback, but film fans have given her career a promising second act. Has anyone seen Brendan Fraser or Hilary Swank?
Well, first of all,
Batgirl, and that movie got thrown in the trash. That has nothing to do with him.
I want to. Okay, as far as Mikey Madison winning Best Actress, I was surprised to see on social media. Look, I was not surprised to see people disappointed that Demi Moore didn't win Best Actress. What I was surprised to see is that people were saying, like, Demi Moore will never have a chance ever again to get nominated for Best Actress. Like, what kind of comment is that? Why do you think she won't be able to pull out another amazing performance that gets a nomination again? She's clearly a great actress. She's young. I'm going to say she's young. She's got her whole career ahead of her. And I think that, she is going to get nominated again, and hopefully she'll win on the next one. So I think Demi Moore is awesome. Jeff, what do you think?
I understand what people are getting at, and that role was so perfect for her, and she's not necessarily an Academy darling who racks up a nomination for everything she does, like Meryl Streep. And really what it is, it's a commentary on how few great roles there are for women of a certain age.
Right.
That is what that comment essentially is.
It also kind of reflects the content of the movie, which makes it even sadder. Again, I don't want to take away from Mikey's win. I think she is exceptional in Anora and very deserving, but I can't help but to see the echoes there.
There's definitely a parallel for sure.
Definitely a life imitating art situation for sure. All right, let's keep going.
All right. If you were to rank studios/companies based on their ability to run an Oscars campaign, where would Neon rank after Anora's 5 wins last night?
I would kind of rank Neon like maybe side by side with A24. Look what A24 did with Everything Everywhere All at Once. 7, I think, history-making Oscar wins there because of Michelle Yeoh's win. Both of those studios, Neon and A24, are today what Focus Features and Fox Searchlight were 15 years ago. That's my take on it. Jeff, what's your take?
My take is that I would rank them first.
Yep. Neon's great.
A24 does a great job, but I've known Tom Quinn a long time. I think that they're really focused and drilled into that international voting block. I think that's the block that they really take pretty good care of, and that's and they have ever since Parasite, because they know those are the voters that helped them to that win.
Perri,
I would rank them very, very high. Did Neon have a contender last year that I'm forgetting?
Last year?
I guess everything was just steamrolled by Oppenheimer. I'm just wondering. So, we have Parasite and now we have Anora. I'm just wondering, in order to assess better, what was the movie in between that maybe didn't do as well, and why didn't it do as well?
Right. Yeah.
It was like Ava DuVernay's movie.
Oh no, Origin. No, that really got completely steamrolled. Yep.
They never really got behind that to begin with, though. No. But anyway, I do think Neon is quite high on that list.
I saw one of the comments here. Somebody commented that
Anatomy of the Fall.
A24. Anatomy of the Fall.
They did do pretty well.
They did pretty well with that.
Neon's up there.
A24 A24 butchered the release of Sing Sing.
Hmm.
Yeah, Sing Sing was a great movie.
Misjudged it for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Keep going.
All right.
Good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. Next one is the telecast was a 6 out of 10. Yay, Flo. Yay, Mance.
Yay, Flo. Yay.
I think it's a fair grade. Conan was great, but there were, the Bond stuff, the Quincy Jones tribute, it didn't land for me.
I didn't like the Quincy Jones tribute or the Bond one, but I did really like the feeling of the ceremony in general. I thought Conan was very funny. I liked the fact that it felt like a film first ceremony. I'm obsessed with the way that they introduce things like the costume design category.
Yeah,
I think one of the absolute best things that the Academy could do with star power that actors have that other filmmakers don't have is basically use them to show how intertwined everyone's work is and to use them to celebrate the people that we don't get to see on screen as often. I hope they continue doing that.
Okay, so here's an interesting observation. So, again, when the show was going, I was in the press room, and Jeff, you guys have been in the press room before, right?
Mm-mm.
All right, so there's like 400 people from around the world in that press room, and while the show
good
opened,
cookies.
What's that?
Good cookies.
Good cookies, yeah. Good egg rolls too. While the show was opening and you had Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo doing that medley of songs from Wicked, these really jaded, really super hard journalists were like applauding and they were going crazy and like whooping it up and all this stuff. And I'm going like thinking like, why is this movie not winning Best Picture with all this kind of support? And then I thought, oh, wait, that's right. There's Wicked Part 2. Maybe, again, like we talked about, maybe we're waiting to see if Wicked will stick the landing. I mean, we think it will, and hope it will. But it was just like, what did you think, Perri, of that opening number? I know how much of a crazy Wicked fan.
Loved it. I think the two of them are just like utter perfection in, I don't know, performing in general, but also performing on stage live at an event like that. I couldn't have imagined a better way to open the ceremony.
Jeff?
I thought it was okay. I liked Ariana doing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I liked Defying Gravity, but I did not care for the song in the middle from The Wiz.
Oh, yeah. I didn't either. Yeah, that wasn't great. I agree with you.
Too much. This whole number can be chopped down by 2 minutes. And that was a theme throughout the show. Even with the Conan, I promise I won't waste time. It's like, if that is actually funny, then keep it in. But it wasn't really funny. Like, what are we doing?
The Bond tribute felt like a funeral more than an appreciation. It was like, bye, the Bond.
Cinema Streams was good though. It's like, where do I have to hold my phone? They're like, the building holds it for you.
I did like that bit.
All right, more super chats, Perri.
Yes, we're going. Next year's Oscars will introduce the best casting category. Any idea how nominees will be determined? Will films with large ensembles have the edge?
Yes.
Sure.
It's over. It's already over. It's called The Odyssey.
Yeah.
That comes out next year. Sorry, you're right. It's for this year's movies.
We're going back up to 24 categories with the best casting category next year. And they got to add a 25th. They got to get best stunts. Yeah, for sure. They got to add best stunts. Like, what the hell are they waiting for?
I think our best indicator of what the voting process for a category like this could be like is looking at the SAG Ensemble Award.
Yeah,
right. I mean, you had ensembles of all sizes there, but I do think if a movie is, let's say, a two-hander, it probably, I guess now that I say that, I would give The Substance a casting award. I mean, the two of them together are just perfect.
It is tricky though, because some of these movies are built on packages where it's like the director just casts the star directly, and so the casting director is not really responsible for putting the leads in the movie. It's they're building the ensemble around them. So I don't know how they're going to judge that.
All right, more super chats. More.
I literally screamed out loud in my seat when Emma Stone read Mikey Madison.
Oh my God, Adam, it was insane. It was insane.
Not the only one.
It was great.
Can we finally end the idea of a movie needs to debut in the fall and winter to win Best Picture? 4 of the last 6 winners debuted July or earlier. Looking at Dune stands. Happy my 0 Anora predictions were wrong.
Wow, the 0 predictions. Yeah. Look, I mean,
don't quit your day job.
Yeah. All right. Keep
I
going.
know, but I will say, I don't know if this is referencing Anora for the whole super chat, but like Anora did debut earlier in the year, but then it continued with the award season focused film festival later in the year.
Right.
Then it had a late season run. I think Anora played the long game
Yes.
really, really well.
Yeah, it did, but it's not like Anora opened in theaters in May. It played Cannes in May.
Yeah, no,
won
that's
the
what I
top
mean.
prize, you know what I mean? And then it opened, played also as a Telluride is where I saw it. And I think it was a TIFF as well. But I mean, it didn't open until the fall, which, is like what we're talking about here. Movies opening in the fall are the ones getting the most nominations. I don't think that's ever going to change. I think that's why they have, the summer movie season and then they have Oscar season.
My heart broke when Demi lost. Actually ruined the whole show for me. Went directly to bed. I usually stay up for hours watching/reading everything.
Yeah, a lot of people were really heartbroken, Kathy. You're not alone. By the way, I love your avatar. It's a really cute doggy.
You missed one award, Kathy, and I think you already knew what was going to win. So
yeah.
Fair. Anora, this year's Annie Hall, and Annie had to win Best Actress.
Oh, there you go. It's this year's Annie Hall. Annie. Yeah.
You guys rock. We'll miss this. Please find a way to keep posting videos throughout the year.
We'll work on it. Kanakadi.
Onlyfans.com.
Oh, God. First Oscar for Latvia. First Oscar for Brazil.
Yay. Flo, I'm still here. Thanks, Maria. Okay, what else we got?
All right. Next up is a biggie. If there's anything that the 93rd Academy Awards have taught me, it's to never get your hopes up too high, considering how there could be upsets. That is why I put Flo as my second pick after Wild Robot.
Well, Kashev.
Good lesson in life in general. Never get your hopes up too high.
Right. I love when there's upsets, even though Mikey isn't really an upset. I guess it was a little because the movie was so favored to win. I mean, it's not like Cynthia Erivo won. That would have been an upset. I mean, it was between three actresses. It was between the three that we've talked about.
All right. Huge FYC fan straight from Rio de Janeiro. Did you see the reactions from Brazil? It felt like a World Cup final with Carnival in the mix. The whole country rooting for I'm Still Here, our number one Oscar, our first Oscar.
We felt it. We felt it about 45 minutes after the show ended. There was an earthquake right under Perri's house.
Oh my gosh. That was crazy.
Kind of crazy.
That was crazy. I'm like, did we just have an earthquake the night of the Academy Awards? Oh, by the way, Oscar Silva says next FYC needs to be preliminary predictions for 2026 Academy Awards. And if you go to theinsnyder.com, Jeff Snyder already posted an article about his predictions. Jeff is first out of the gate here with predictions.
I did. I knew the trades are going to drop this any second.
Yeah.
Right. And Jeff Snyder is first. So head to theinsnyder.com and subscribe.
Just a guessing game at this point.
But it's fun. That's what we're here for.
Based on little bits of buzz and information I hear.
I thought Chalamet ran a fun campaign, but do you think he wanted the award too much publicly? Does a too aggressive campaign turn off voters?
Does it? Oh, sure.
Yes.
Look at,
do we remember Bradley Cooper and the reaction to that? I still take issue with that. I thought the reaction to him wanting an Oscar was absolutely absurd, but that's what this question makes me think of. Also, I will just point out there is a period of time where we're like, everybody else is in the spotlight talking about wanting an Oscar, and Timmy wasn't doing that. He was like, dude was just like running around having fun. So I don't know about that.
Yeah, Anthony, I don't think that Timmy was being aggressive in any off-putting way, like maybe Glenn Close did for The Wife or Perri, like you said, Bradley Cooper for Maestro. I thought he was right on point. He was very chill about it all. And he won a SAG award, which is, not too shabby at all.
If I had to bet my life on someone winning an Oscar in the next 25 years, it would be Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, for sure. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Real quickly, Mance, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Going back to that question about next year, an actor they can't be a double nominee in one category, right? That's the rule?
Correct. Right.
Okay, because Colin Farrell is supposed to be great in the Kogonada movie, and the Edward Berger movie. So
Yeah, they could be nominated in 2 separate categories, not the same category. Right.
Yeah.
All right, next up. What does Netflix need to do to win Best Picture? Maybe stop trying so hard. Change the profile of the films or the campaign. Netflix, Diane Warren.
All right. That is a great question. That is a great question. What does Netflix need to do to win Best Picture?
That's an easy question,
Go
actually.
ahead, Jeff.
Give them a real theatrical release.
Yes.
That's the answer. Why did Sean Baker choose Neon? Because Neon came in and said, we're going to put your movie in theaters, and then we're going to leave it there for 3 or 4 months and not, it's just coming to Hulu. I think they just announced it in like a week or 2.
Mm-hmm.
So they kept it off of streaming and all that. And I think that creates a demand. Like, I think that is what Netflix needs to do.
Is Neon going to re-release Anora in theaters? Because they usually do that after the Oscars.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Also, isn't it on Hulu or going to Hulu soon?
Yes. Yeah, in like a week or 2. I don't know. Very soon.
But I will say, like, when it comes to the TV stuff, like with the Emmys, Netflix, they've got it in the bag, like Ozark and the Crown, and they just have so many great shows. Right. But when it comes to the movies, it's like the Academy Awards that they actually win. It's like, this year with supporting actress and they win, like when Power of the Dog, when Jane Campion won Best Director, that was like a career win. And I feel like for all the money that they're spending on their Oscar campaigns, they go all in with a movie like Amelia Perez, which when I saw it back in the beginning of the fall, I actually felt like, now there's a movie that was deserving to win Best Picture, and then all this like controversy started up, and I understand the controversy. I definitely became more informed about why people were not liking the film, and that was certainly an education to read all that. But in the end, I think you're absolutely right, Jeff. Like this thing, that's not our business model. We don't do theatrical releases.
Right. If you want to win an Oscar, you got to make it your strategy.
Yeah, I agree. Perri, you think that's valid?
I also think that it just comes down to the quality of the film too. It's like you bring up Power of the Dog, which was a little divisive. I know some people didn't love Roma.
Yep.
And now we have Amelia Perez with all of this and with all this controversy this season. But I will say, the Netflix awards campaign team deserves a whole lot of credit for steering that ship through that storm and still making sure that the movie walked away with some Oscar wins, which, like, as you could go back and see on previous FYC episodes, I thought was going to be a very difficult feat to achieve, and they did it. So while they didn't win Best Picture, they deserve credit for that.
I completely agree. It's like that was they stepped on a landmine that they didn't even know was buried there. So not their fault. They did the best they could. And to me, you're right, Perri. They've never had a movie where I'm like, that should have won Best Picture, and they blew it.
All right, let's take a couple more and wrap this baby up.
All right, we'll go. There's a little bit, so let's go through them quickly. With Best Picture winners getting a total of 19 Oscars over the past 3 years, are we in a new era of sweepers? Thanks for the great awards coverage. Much love to you three.
Thank you, Drew Roddy. That's a great point. And yeah, I mean, when people love a movie, they really love it. And I feel like, it's like when you watch the Emmys, like the same shows keep getting nominated all the time. And I feel like, with the Oscars in recent years, like, look, I mean, Everything Everywhere All at Once won 7 Oscars that year. I mean, yeah, Parasite won 4. Oppenheimer, I forget how many it won, but I know it was like at least 3. Yeah, it's a really good point, Drew Roddy.
It's all about the competition and that kind of stuff, though. It's about the movies that you're up against. So if Once Upon a Time, which one beat that? Parasite beat Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Was that it?
Yes.
Yeah, like if Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's up against Everything Everywhere All at Once, is it a sweep? Like, probably not.
Also up against 1917, which was a big front runner that year. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is interesting that the year we predicted the awards would be spread around, it wound up being a sweep, though.
Yeah.
I do find that quite interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Adrian Brody's speech was too long.
Yes. Yes. This.
And
Yes.
the
Yes.
worst part about this is shushing the orchestra and not having something
Right.
new to say after. I
Exactly.
like much respect to him. I'm happy to see him win the award. I want to see him get his time at the podium when, like, you never know if this is ever going to happen again. But
Right.
if you do that, have something to say.
Completely
Right.
agree.
Right. Keep going. Yep. Mike,
commercials
pay back. Yeah.
The commercials last night have inspired this question. Are we ever going to see a best stunt performer performer? Geez, now I said question. Are we ever going to see a best stunt performer category at the Oscars?
Yes. It's coming, Mike. It's coming. Just, it's coming. I'll bet the house on it. Mhm.
Yeah, me too. Thoughts on expanding the other categories to 6 choices since Best Picture is now at 10?
No.
No.
Nope.
Mm.
Nope.
People thought Dune didn't get more honors because Dune 2 would get wins, but that didn't happen. How sure are you all that Wicked 2 will win if it's good?
Well, if it's good, it will win.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Just like when Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers were good, and then Return of the King was great, and it won every Oscar it was nominated for. 10.
I have a lot of faith in that movie.
Yeah.
Should they introduce an award for publicists, given how much impact they have on the industry and awards? I had this exact conversation with someone recently. Like, I know we can't have a bajillion categories at the Oscars because then the show will go on for even longer. But I'll tell you, like, this is a big part of getting not even just awards, but getting a movie out into the world and having people's artwork seen. So I really do think they should be honored even beyond their own ceremony.
You know what? I understand that point, and I look, as someone who, the three of us have all worked with publicists who have really had to navigate some very choppy waters in these last 5 years with getting their movies seen, the pandemic, the lockdown, and the strikes, and having to rejigger and move. Like, the other question about Dune Part 2 was supposed to come out the same year as Oppenheimer, and it got pushed back because of the strikes. Like, I agree. I think the next category that needs to be added to the Oscars are stunts. I would love to see a publicist award added to the Oscars, but I do love the Publicist Guild Award show because I love knowing every friggin' person in the room. It's a super, super fun show.
It is very cool. Knew I had a visceral reaction to The Substance. Hadn't realized how invested I was in Demi for actress. Still reeling, but so happy for Mikey.
Yep, same.
I
think
get it,
you're
Ian.
not alone, Ian.
All right, a biggie from Eric. Hey, FYC gang, as you wrap up award season, what is your one takeaway and what are your hopes and dreams for next season? Thanks for what y'all do.
All right, I want Jeff to take this question first. What is your takeaway from the season, Jeff?
You're gonna make me give away the newsletter tonight, but it's that the Academy is more racially diverse. Yes, it is more gender balanced, and yes, it is more international. But as Chris Tapley said this morning, the most important thing at the Academy now is younger.
Yeah,
that is the truth, and that speaks to the choices. Whether it's Anora, whether it's everything, everywhere, whether it's The Substance being nominated, these choices reflect a younger Academy that's probably gone down 10 years in its median age. And again, the numbers on the Academy have swelled so much. They've added 6,000 members in the last 10 years alone. I think I've lost track of like, I think I had a good feel for what the old Academy wanted, and I'm still learning what that new taste is, the taste of the new Academy.
The new taste is Anora, because the fact that you have a more than doubling of the size of the Academy, that whole thing that we've talked about in earlier years that we were doing FYC, the three of us, the Academy will never go for that. It's too
Right.
It's too raunchy. It's too racy for the Academy.
It's to that.
Not anymore. With Parasite, with Everything Everywhere All at Once, with Substance getting nominated, all that old sort of like, oh, it's too stuff. Academy's too old, whatever.
Yep.
Gone. Don't even like get that out of your head. Perri, any thoughts for you? What is your takeaway for the season?
I'll make it short and sweet. My takeaway is what I said before. I love that I'll always look back at this ceremony and think it is the year of the indie at the Oscars. And even though Demi didn't win, The Substance became an Academy Award winner. And my hopes for the future is that the Academy will continue to embrace horror films and eventually give the genre even more wins.
There you go.
I have a hope and dream, and I think I'm going to speak for Mance on this one. We need the return of Mr. Tom Cruise for Best Actor. The final reckoning, baby. Saying goodbye to Ethan Hunt. Mission Impossible. I want Tom Cruise back in the lineup.
Everything that Jeff just said, yes, 100%. Tom Cruise has not been nominated for an Academy Award since 1999's Magnolia for supporting actor. The guy is a great actor. I mean, he's been really all in. He's been all in for the stunts, all in for the Mission Impossibles, Top Gun Maverick. No one does it like Tom Cruise. He makes movies that everybody loves, but he absolutely has it in him to deliver an Oscar-worthy performance. And boy, would I fucking love to see a movie like, and the nominees are Tom Cruise for such and such. That would make me very happy. Perri?
Jumping to the next one, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Given many anonymous Oscar voters admitted they didn't watch a lot of the films, should the Oscars require voters to watch everything before voting?
No.
How do you do that?
You can't do it. These people are professionals. They have jobs of their own, families of their own. You can't just expect them to see, and it's countless movies, not even like a set number. Like, okay, if the Brutal or Amelia Perez gets 13 nominations, right? Those 13 nominations could go to 13 different movies instead of one movie. So think of how many movies you have to watch everything. It's impossible.
I think when it comes to nominations, it's near impossible, but I do think that it should be a requirement to see every nominee when picking a winner. And then if you just don't see some from one category, just abstain. It's that easy.
Eric Williams and somebody else on the super chat on the chat pointed out that Tom Cruise is making Alejandro Inarritu's next movie after Mission Impossible. So
true, they could always wait till next year to give it to him. But.
Yeah. Okay.
Had to boost this. Oh, sorry, Mance. Were you going to answer the other one? Had to boost this. Home is as part of Oz history as Rainbow plus slander will not be tolerated. It was maybe more for where?
It's the Wiz song that.
Sorry, I thought I missed the word "the Wiz" somewhere. It was maybe more for theater kids and people of color, but we stan. I quite liked it.
Nobody beats it. It's the Wiz.
Both acting SAG winners did not win Oscars. Best makeup and actress go hand in hand. Don't think so. Missed Demi's speech, but you three rock.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it.
Could call the SAG Awards the runner-up awards.
Yeah. Love you guys. We'll miss this.
We'll miss it too. Thank you, Joey.
I feel like you don't have to miss it for very long. I feel like every year we're like, oh, we're not going to be back for a while, but then it's here before we know it.
Yeah.
What was your favorite bit? I liked the ScarJo and June Squibb makeup pair. I love that.
That was good.
I loved when Conan O'Brien, stepped out of Demi Moore scene from
that was a good opening.
And then he goes back in for his shoe, and then he says, "I think I left my keys in there." That was hilarious.
I heard someone commenting on that where like the dude was offended by it, and I'm like,
"Get like funny. What's to be offended?"
Like what? That it was.
Up.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't agree with that take. I loved it. Maybe Netflix needs to buy the Palme d'Or. Roma should have won, but the Academy refused to give it to a Mexican film. For a year later, to do that to Amelia Perez was overrated by marketing, but the script was bad. There's a lot of
I don't know.
Statements there.
I'm just trying to picture them trying to give it to Roma, and people like, no, we can't give it to a Mexican film. That's not how the Academy works. It's 10,000 people.
And didn't Alfonso Cuarón win Best Director for Roma? Yeah, he won Best Director, and then Green Book won Best Picture. Right, that's what happened. All right.
One from Harry, joined late, but congrats on your ICG award, Perri. Thank you very much, Harry. I really appreciate that. Next up, thank you all for a fun season. I get not everyone enjoyed the Wiz performances, but it has a special place in my heart. What made you smile from last night?
What do you guys want from me? I'm a white boy. What do you want from me? I don't know the Wiz. I'm sorry.
What made me smile from last night? Flo winning at Best Animated Feature. That made me smile.
Every single time Sean Baker got on that stage and spoke.
Yeah.
Shadow Bay!
I like Adam Sandler. If I ever run my own award show, everyone's going to be required to dress like Adam Sandler.
Uh, you're on.
Roma was Netflix's chance for Best Picture. The Academy was chicken, maybe.
Yeah. All right,
Next
keep
up.
going.
The FYC show this year was great as usual. Been watching it for 3 to 4 years. It makes me so happy. Congrats on your dedication. Looking forward to the 2026 season. Have an awesome night.
Yeah, I feel like that'll be here before we know it.
Soon enough. I'm going to miss the F out of you all.
We're going to miss the F out of you all. And with that, I think we should.
We got to finish, man. We have 3 more left.
All right.
17th time lucky for I need Diane Warren to win an Oscar.
Please, for the love of God.
Yeah.
When that happens, it's going to be another earthquake.
I need it to happen. What did you guys think of Conan's hosting job? I thought he was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I thought he was good. Yep. Very, very good.
I thought he was great. I thought he was funny. I thought he moved the show along nice. I love the vibe. Big thumbs up for Conan. I laughed, I screamed, I cried. Great Oscars broadcast this year. Anora has elements that remind me of the great dramas of the 70s. So happy to see it win. Excellent season of FYC, as always.
Thanks, Haunted Autumn.
Great comment to end on.
Great comment to end on. Great final show of FYC for the season. Make sure you subscribe to Perri's channel. Scroll down right now and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe to Jeff's newsletter, theinsnider.com, and check out Jeff's other show, The Hot Mic, on John Roca's YouTube channel, The Incredible John Roca. And make sure you share this final episode of FYC on your social media channels so that more people can see what we had to say about the final the Academy Awards. The 97th Academy Awards are officially a done deal. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your support of FYC. Until we meet again, don't know where, don't know when, you know the drill. For one last time, baby. FY.
See you later.